Your emotions are currency within the world, and this currency changes a lot within society, technology, and everyone's everyday life, and I'm sick of it. It's getting into our video games, it's getting into places where it absolutely shouldn't be. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech, but otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. A little bit autistic, spend a lot of the time watching the internet so I can figure out what the frick is going on, so I can have a 0 point for all things, and I can figure out how to go out there, have conversations with people, come back in, and maybe be successful and all of this stuff. But holy frick, guys. People are so freaking messed up. Okay, so I got this autistic thing where I like to watch artificial intelligence. I always have. Get on StarCraft, Free for All, Fog of War, take out the Fog of War, and just watch everything. Just freaking watch. Man, I've been on Reddit since before you even knew what it was. I've been on Reddit since knee high to a grasshopper. I forget the get number, but things are changing. Things are crazy. I've been watching this shit long enough that if you tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, you're literally telling me my own freaking reality. This is what I do. I'm sure that you go out there and you be successful with the things that you do. Everyone has that one thing that they do, right? Freaking trust me on this. I am a watcher. I watch. It's because I need to figure out how to make all this stuff work. For me, for society, for all of us, and what I want you to tell you right now, guys, is not everyone's interested in pushing society forward. Now, we won't give away all of the information that we have on aliens because everyone is worried. Because if we release all of the information we had on UFOs, it would upset people because their religion isn't secure. And you don't understand this, but everyone has these stabilization pins, these rocks in their life, and when they don't have it, they get a little bit crazy. When a divorce has been served to you, you get crazy. When you're narcissistically abused, you get a little bit crazy. When the reality under you shakes, you lose your job, you lose your stability, you get a little crazy because you don't have that stability. My brother came to me once, and I always looked up to him and respected him. And conspiracy theory, I didn't know how much of a conspiracy theorist he was, but he told me basically he believes in the craziest conspiracy theory. Shape-shifting lizard people, legitimate shape-shifting lizard people come from Andromeda, which is actually a star cluster that looks like a single star to us on Orion's belt. That's where they came from. They're here. They eat our fear. They themselves have been taken over by fourth dimensional aliens, which are extra dimensional aliens, extra dimensional, which are controlled by God. But he doesn't use the word Christian like Judeo, Yahweh. He doesn't use any of these. But like when he told me that was someone I respected, telling me information he absolutely believed that was contrary to anything I ever expected him to say. It broke my heart. It really freaking hurt me. Now, what I'm trying to say is shut your mouth unless you've been in this situation, because I see so many people going 9 to 5 in situations where their parents just set them up for everything. They've never had to handle adversity. They've never had to handle a situation where something pops up in front of them and it is their personal responsibility to deal with the situation. When you're there, it's freaking different. So like it's reasonable. It's reasonable to say that if something upsets us, something should be done about it. We should be able to call out our guardians and do something about it. And a lot of people do that. Now, within a free society, those guardians have to look at everything in the middle, right? If we were to be in a feudalistic society, they wouldn't. And we're going more and more towards feudalistic societies these days. Now take a look over in the UK. Yeah. Take some personal initiative. Don't just judge me on the things I'm saying. Take a look. You know, it's really easy to do. Just say, Nevin, I don't like the things you're saying, so screw you. You're an idiot. Nothing you says actually matters. And if anything you says matters, I don't have any personal responsibility. And even if it means rape gangs for kids, because that's not my personal responsibility. I'm not supposed to worry about children. I'm just supposed to worry about beautiful women and people my own age around me that want to identify as a school bus or whatever. No, guys, you have to listen to this. This is true. This is a hell that's legitimately happening across the pond. Been trying to tell you about it for quite a while. They're losing their freedoms. Hell, in California, illegals can vote. There is medical assistance for people who are not part of the country that people who are part of the country don't get to enjoy. And that's because of people feel like the America is a bad place and anyone else should be able to come in and be there. Now, we have bad ideas going on across the pond with rape gangs. We absolutely do. Please look this up. Please look this up because this involves children, all right? Now, what nobody wants to admit is that there is rape in our culture, that this is possible. Everyone wants to think that everyone who isn't white is just, and Christian, is just wonderful. Christians are the only group that have the potentials to have pedophiles in their classes and in their midst. The people letting people in don't want to think that pedophiles exist. They don't want to think pedos exist because it hurts them. The way they feel. Yes, let's let all of these immigrants in and not check them. And we don't need to worry. Oh, and here's the next thing. Okay, nobody wants to look into Muslims and issues that Muslims have. Now, I'm not saying Muslims have more issues than any other religion. I'm saying Muslims should be checked just as much as we check Catholic clergy around children. We have a really damn good reason that we check pastors and clergy around children. We have a history. It's a joke now within the Catholic Church. People will joke about it openly, about these issues. But then when people of other religions come in, we toe this line of, oh, nothing could go wrong. Nothing could go wrong. The same way in the 70s we'd say, hey, go give Uncle Johnny a hug. I don't care that it makes you uncomfortable. It's disrespectful if you don't give Uncle Johnny a hug. Even though Uncle Johnny was touching those kids. This happened. You don't want to think about it? Fuck you. This happened. The reason why I was told over and over and over again as a child, no one will believe you. Keep telling. If your parents don't believe you, tell your aunt, tell your teacher, tell all these people. Because we had a situation where families thought that it was not possible for unconscionable things to happen. They happened. We had to retrain society at a basic freaking level. And then we went so far, we had a satanic panic, where once again, based off of somebody's feelings who wasn't all freaking there, 53 people got put into jail by legitimate police and psychologists who misinterpreted a fucked up woman and her child's dreams. And then all of a sudden, the mental health community figures, oh, we can find dreams buried in people's subconscious. Dude, that's like going to an art gallery and trying to solve murders based off of modern art. We were that stupid once. We were stupid enough that we forced kids to hug their abusers. And then we were stupid enough to go so far that we thought the people that loved our children were abusing them. So we have the ability to be stupid sheeple about things, with this overall, like there's this kind of overall hive mind idea that gets plugged into the women and the men who are supposed to watch and protect, thinking everything's fine. Dark things would never happen. By thinking about dark things, we make dark things. Instead of saying, by knowing what dark things are and watching for them, we can stop them preemptively. In the UK, right now, well, actually, probably about 10 years ago, the police were ultimately put into a situation where people in the newspaper would offend, they'd say something to somebody, and then people would go to the police and be like, they're making fun of a national treasure. What are you going to do about it? And let's face it, that is definitely a European mom thing. The fun police. I'm sorry, ladies, but there are some yous out there that just, if something goes wrong, you just frickin' take things away from your kids, and then at the end of the day, there's nothing around your kids. There's nothing, and then you wonder why they go so frickin' crazy. In the UK right now, there are so many stabbing attacks from a particular religion. In the UK right now, there are so many rape gangs. I've been saying this a long time. We've been seeing it a long time. I want you to take the personal responsibility to look for this. It's being hidden. And in hiding this, we are monsters. Now, I want you to look for how we're hiding pedophilia. Go to ChatGTP, go to any of your artificial intelligence, say, okay, so there's a situation with Aisha and the Prophet Muhammad. Aisha was underage. She was anywhere between 7 and 12 when she was married off to Muhammad. Muhammad made an agreement saying, I won't deflower her until she is of age. She was deflowered before she was of age. If you go to ChatGTP and ask how old she was, it will say this was okay in this century. Any of the chats, ask how old she was. It's going to say it's going to say the high side. Take the medium side that everyone can agree is reasonable. 11. 11. 11. If you say, was Aisha old enough? All of the chats will say she was old enough. And in doing so, protect a pedophile. And if you take that age and ask ChatGTP, all these chats, in that century, was this normal? They will all say no. Okay, riddle me this. Why are we okay with that difference? Because we are flooding other countries due to the Arab Spring. Trust me, you don't know anything about the Arab Spring, do you? No, you don't. You just go off your emotions, don't you? Yeah. Anyways, World War I and II ultimately ended all the kings and queens within Europe, and we switched over to democracies. One way or another. The world wars didn't dip into the Middle East so much. Because of this, we still have ayatollahs, we have kings, we have whatever you want to call them. They do some pretty freaking unconscionable things, and we have been like, okay, it's them. That's them. So now many of these places have fought against the kings, and people went elsewhere. And then in other parts of these areas, they've literally just unlocked their jail cells and been like, go. Just go. Do it. Just frickin' do it. And yeah. I'm sorry, I'm screaming right now because there is so much harm going on to females in the USA and in Canada and in Germany right now. These people that are being brought in are being celebrated by the progressives who blame everything that these folks do on us, the guys that have been around here, and then they blame the oppression on them too. It's gotten so bad that I'm sure you all know about that case of the woman that was raped by a black man, and instead of charging him, she let him off because of the oppression. She was raped. She let him off because of the oppression that she had. I seen the video. That girl needs a therapist even before whatever happened, because you have to do something about that. You have to do something about that. Fine, you're not going to slap him on the wrist for that thing that he did. He's going to do it to somebody else, and then it's on your head now. You get a situation where you don't want to bring in a pedophile because you don't want to deal with all that shit. You want to go on with your happy life. Fine, he does it to somebody else. It's on you. It is on your head. Now, don't particularly like Christians, but if a Christian ever runs into a situation where there's a person that hasn't been saved and they don't try to save them, the Creator is going to put that person's death on that individual's head. Take personal fucking responsibility. If you're on here throwing around your emotions, take personal responsibility. Because if you don't, children could get hurt. Children are getting hurt. In the UK right now, there are literally people hurting people with knives constantly. Constant things happen. Who's doing it? Look into this. But you won't because of your emotions. These emotions are legitimately valuable within politics, within society, and they've been used to make building, progressing, moving forward easy. They've started to make day by day things harder for everyone. For everyone. I can't get a house anymore, guys. Like, I want to go out there and I want to work. I want to get a job. I want that job to make sure that my taxes will go to getting children educated, making sure old age has a security, and making sure that the sick can get well. But dude, we can't do that with all this DEI BS. I mean, I love foreigners, and like I'm an immigrant, right? I'm sixth generation. I think I'm sixth generation. A whole bunch of everything over there. I'm Canadian, and I get blamed for shit that happened in like the 1600s. Okay, now if we're all going to go off feelings, I feel like women get ahead by using their titties too much. I feel like at this point, women all know that if another woman comes to work showing titty and is wearing white with a black bra, everyone's going to see that shit. You know what you're doing. I mean, yes, men have the patriarchy. We don't all freaking benefit from it, right? Well, ladies, you have assets that you can benefit from, but not everyone benefits from them because we don't all have those things. I'm sorry, I'm getting away, but it's like reality 50 years ago and reality now are two different things because emotions have more of a sway than they ever have before. They're used to censor us and to stop us from moving ahead because we're all so worried. We're all so worried about what people say, and we don't seem to give two shits about what people do. So there was a time when environmental laws were simply to protect the environment, and then it switched around to environmental laws being used for dumbass things. Instead of people coming out and talking for real what's really going on, they make up lies and subterfuge, and then they add talking pieces and stuff on top of it. There are many people around here in my area that didn't want wind turbines, and they brought up the dumbest reasons too. And a dude even opened an airfield that he'd never used just to keep wind turbines around. We have too many people manipulating things that have nothing to do with them in order to hold money that maybe they don't exactly need to. And a lot of fucked up stuff has happened because a lot of messed up stuff has happened south of the border because of Americans trying to save American interests, because rich Americans felt like they needed this, that, or the other things. For example, like this one, this is a real pull, but just to give you an example that it does happen, there are supposed to be flies in America that take out the cattle. Oh, sorry, there's supposed to be more flies in America, like bot flies, but they're not there because the Americans shut it down south of the border. They had that ability to. They had a feeling, I feel like I need to shut this down because I hate these flies, and there's actually a cost associated with that too. And they decide, yeah, we're going to shut it down by irradiating flies, releasing them south of the border, and then they won't be able to frick, you know? And we'll just keep doing that. We'll keep doing that. We'll keep doing that. We won't release the information that we have on UFOs because it will upset us too much. Now, what I need to put down here, guys, is we got to start thinking about the children again sometime. We really got to start thinking about the kids and what's best for them, and what's best for them reasonably, not what's best for the adult. Like, let kids be kids. I don't care what you feel. Let kids be kids. Keep sexuality away from them until they're old enough to care about that shit. Legit. Let them like look and do they even know what it's like to be men and women yet? Guys, keep your emotions. Back off those emotions a bit, because they're controlling us in some really messed up ways. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it from me. Enough from Tech Bits. Take care of each other, will you?